Hello and welcome to this demo video. Before we get started, I'd just like to explain to you a few things which will relate to all of the basic range spreadsheets. Number one, there is a key on the intro and setup tab of all of the spreadsheets showing what the different color headers mean. The blue headers mean that the cell's formulated, so it's locked and you can't change it. The yellow headers are where you can input data, and occasionally there might be some gray headers, which is just a different kind of data input, but we'll include instructions as and when that happens. The other thing that you can be aware of is there are ways in which you can damage the spreadsheet. So please do take a look at the link where you see this image, which will take you to a web page to show you how to better preserve your spreadsheet. Please feel free to keep a blank version of the spreadsheet somewhere, so that if you do mess up a spreadsheet that you're using, you can in fact just open a new one, a blank one. And some of the spreadsheets only last for a year, and then you've got a blank one to start the following year. So do keep a blank copy as a backup somewhere. And lastly, wherever you see this image, you can click on it. It'll take you back to the store where you purchased this product to see if you've got anything, any more products. One last thing, to see a demo video, you can click on this on a link that looks like this in order to go to the demo video, but that'll take you to the most recent demo. If in fact we've done upgrades and you're using an older version and you'd like to see the demo relating to your version, then do click on the watch on YouTube link, which will take you to that specific video on YouTube. So I think that's all you need to know. So without further ado, let's move on to this demo video. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to this demo video for the shopping share calculator. Now this needs a little bit of an explanation. It's a very simple spreadsheet to use, but what it's for is this was created during the whole coronavirus outbreak thing, where everyone's quarantining themselves and self-isolating and all this other stuff that's going on, and people are stuck looking for groceries. And if you've been down to the store during this time, you'll know half the shelves are bare, so it's been really difficult to get hold of groceries. So what people are doing is they are buying groceries, ordering them online, getting them delivered, but the problem is the delivery slots now becoming fewer and further between, which means sometimes you're waiting a week and a half, 2 weeks to actually get a delivery done. So what the idea is behind this is we've got someone living nearby who's an elderly person who's vulnerable in the situation, so they obviously can't go to the shops, they can't get food delivered as regularly as they possibly need to. So what we've decided to do is actually team together a few people around us who are will actually order off of each other's deliveries. So if one person has a delivery coming and the other person needs, for example, some milk and bread, then they'll add that onto the person's delivery. And if someone else has got a delivery coming the following week and someone needs some cheese or something from that one, then they'll add on. So effectively what we're doing as a few houses are all sharing the deliveries, but one person's actually paying for the delivery, i.e. ordering it, and other people are adding on things onto their delivery, but then you're adding onto someone else's delivery. Now, although that works great and it's fine, it's community and all helping each other out, and that's wonderful, it does become a little bit of an issue keeping on top of who owes who what money. And you don't necessarily want to be doing financial transactions for £3.12 here and £2.16 there and all the rest of it. So what I've done is made this very simple spreadsheet. You can list up to 10 people here who are going to partake in this particular, what do you want to call it, experiment or whatever it's called, this particular community kind of group. So list the names of the people here. These figures will automatically calculate. And then all you need to do is put in the date. This isn't even that particularly necessary. These first three columns aren't that necessary, but they're there just so that you can keep track of it. The date, the shop where you purchased it from, just to remind you which order it was, and then you can put here the item that person ordered. Now, depending on how much detail you want to go into, I would suggest you wouldn't need to necessarily itemize each item. If you want to, knock yourself out. If you don't want to, just put, for example, that particular shop as the item, just put all items and just put the total that person has ordered off of that order. So if you put the value in here of what the person's ordered, And then what you need, the most important thing are these three columns. So the value from that order, that of the goods that went to the particular person, who the purchaser was. So in other words, who's the actual person who's paid for the order and actually placed the order online. And then this is the user, i.e. the person who these goods are going to. So if the next door neighbor buys a thing of milk and some cheese and whatever, it comes to £4.20 and I purchase it, I'd select my name here because I purchased the order, but the goods went to them. So I would put their name there, and then obviously I'll just put your groceries or something. But if you want to itemize each item, if you're that pedantic, I have left loads of rows. I think I've left about 2,500 rows. So knock yourself out. Last but not least is a possible payment thing. Now, when you get to the end of this, if you go back to introduction, you'll see here you got paid and you got used. So everyone's going to be paying money for other people, but everyone's going to be getting groceries from them. So what this does is it gives you the balance. So effectively, by the end of it, some of these people are going to owe money and some of these people are going to require money. So all this does at the end of the day is it actually just lists the people who need to pay and who they need to pay, and it gives you an overall list. So this is just a suggestion. If all these little green ticks here mean that it's all married up and it works properly, so if those are all green ticks, you're good to go. But effectively what this does is it creates a table to show if person 1 pays person 2 £25.03, and if person 1 pays person 4 £22.75, and so on. If these people pay the person listed at the top here those amounts in the respective blocks, then what will happen is everyone will then balance by the end. So if everyone does that and you all balance, then all you do is you come here, you highlight the data, you go right click, clear contents, it clears all of that data, and you can effectively start again, because that means that everyone's squared up. So again, this isn't rocket science. All it does is it makes sure it keeps a tab of who owes what and who's paying for what. It balances everything out. It tells you who to pay, and then you're all square and you can carry on again. So if you are sharing grocery deliveries, as I know some of us are, then yeah, I really hope that this helps you. Thank you. Goodbye.